Hi and welcome. I'm Courtney Abraham and I'm from the Adecco Group. I'm honored to be here today because any of you actually could be standing up here and probably many of you should be standing up here. But I'm here to share our story of how we've created an impactful learning culture at the Adecco Group. The Adecco Group is probably a company you may not have heard of before. We have a number of different staffing brands in North America, many of whom you're probably familiar, like the Adecco, which is the red brand. It's logistics and clerical and transportation, and we put people back to work in that space. But we have a number of different brands that go after our finance and office talent, our human resource talent, our healthcare professionals, and a number of others. I have to say, coming to work every day is a pretty amazing experience. And when we ask our colleagues what makes us unique and special, it's what we do for a living. Because not many of us can roll out of bed and say, we get to impact lives and put people back to work on a daily basis. So let me take you on our journey and our story of how we've created an impactful learning culture at the Adecco Group. A key premise to who we are is that learning is everyone's responsibility. It's not something I do to you as an SVP of talent management. It's not something my learning team imparts to you. We actually believe in conscious choice. And we believe that we get better when you raise your hand and choose to change behavior. Because after all, we're a business and we're a sales organization. And every day we need to be a little bit more creative to compete, a little bit better than the person that is on the other side of the door. And we need to really look inward to see what it is that makes us unique and special. So it's our talent that you want to go with, and it's our business that you choose to select. So how do we do that? We do that by creating a continuous learning culture, by saying that learning is everyone's responsibility. Now, believe it or not, we are one of those unique companies that firmly believe in putting people in the classroom and behind a computer screen and in a simulated environment so that you can learn. We believe that learning agility is the competence for the future, that with enough emotional intelligence so that you really understand how you react in a moment and that you can manage that reaction so that you can get a little bit better in that sales call or in that discussion with that candidate, that we win the business and that you win every single day. So on this learning journey, we've asked folks to come with us, and I'm going to ask you to take this journey with us also. So a simple idea, and many of you have probably experienced this in all honesty. You ask for trainers, and all of a sudden everybody raises their hand because they think anyone can stand up in front of a classroom, anyone can get a 5 on a smile sheet, but that's not what we're going for. We love the enthusiasm, but we take learning much more seriously because learning for us is behavior change. I'm not about wasting time. And if I ask you to spend the day with me or 2 days or 5 days or 7 days out of the office and away from sales, I better be pretty impactful. And you better be gaining something that changes your behavior so that you make the sale on the other end, so that you have a more engaging conversation with your team member, or that you're learning something about you that you then choose to change. So when we ask, do you want to be a trainer? There's a little bit that comes with it and a lot of responsibility. So first and foremost, how does it start? It starts with raising your hand in an application process. So not everyone gets in, and not just anyone makes it to the end of the line. That application process is pretty thorough. We ask a number of different questions. We ask for video submissions. And then we ask you to participate in an interview process with not only our team and people from the business, but also our Chief Human Resource Officer. At the conclusion of that interview process, we have our shortlist. We have folks that not only will benefit from being in our Train the Trainer program, but also will benefit their team members. So of course that next step is joining us for an on-site Train the Trainer experience. And if you've ever gone to a Bob Pike or anybody else's workshop for Train the Trainer, we use a lot of adult learning theory. We absolutely believe that adults need to do and explore and experience and test and discuss in order to learn. And our experience is very, very similar. So through this absolute amazing experience, if you will, that we put a number of people through on an annual basis, we explore adult learning theory. We explore how to coach and give feedback. We explore how to redirect when it's not going well. And we explore sensitivity. How do you deliver a message with respect and integrity so that the person can hear it, and then you, at the end of the day, can debrief and figure out perhaps what you did really well and perhaps what you may have wanted to do differently. And then lastly, after the train the trainer experience, comes the big shindig, right? So the actual training experience. We have created camps, and this is something different than we've ever done before. We ask our salespeople and our recruiters to bring their desk with them to camp. Now you might say, well, what does that mean? Well, we're a sales organization. So we are about finding companies to place talent with, and we are about finding talent to place with those companies. So we want you to bring whatever is on your sheet, whatever's in your CRM, whatever's in your system, and bring it to camp. Because if we can create revenue in camp, camp pays for itself. Yes, right? ROI, our camps pay for themselves. So the pre, the during, the post, from a trainer perspective and from a business person's perspective, is how am I imparting coaching and feedback and skills to you, my learner, my recruiter, my salesperson, my manager, so that we can increase revenue and contribute positively to the bottom line. We've looked at it from a business perspective. And so we asked our folks in the field, why do they come? Why do they participate in a little bit of a grueling process, but it actually changes behavior? And they shared with us a few stories. Now here, we went and we said, why is training a great experience? Why did you raise your hand? And they've told us time after time, I've been in learning and development for 13, 15, 20 years, and this is different. I've sat in the field and I've managed regions and divisions, and this is different. We ask, why is it different? And they say, you know what? It's not lecturing, it's side-by-side coaching. It's placing phone calls, it's engaging with clients, it's talking with candidates. It's exploring, well, how do I interview you? What are those follow-on questions? What will it take to convince you that my company can actually find you the right talent? So it's sitting hip to hip and side by side in these simulated camps and environments, and it's pretty impactful. They come back, they tell their friends, they tell their colleagues, and next year we have more and more applicants who choose to join our training camps. And so we as facilitators, that's simply what we are, is orchestra conductors. We ensure logistics happen, we ensure our guest trainers are very prepared, and we ensure the experience is debriefed on a regular basis. So in order to continue this experience, we look at data. And so how have we got into the camp experience? And how do we ensure that learning is really everyone's responsibility? We look to the data, and the data tells us something intriguing. So from the moment you join our doors, we ask your opinion. Why are you here? Why did you join? Why are you coming to the Adecco Group or any one of our brands? And you know, they tell us some really interesting things, but things that wouldn't surprise you. From a hiring perspective, they share it's very important to join an organization or a company with financial stability. They tell us they want the opportunity to advance their career. And lastly, or more importantly, it's about the ability to make a difference. So if that's why they're coming, we better live up to expectation. And so we then ask them at 30, 90, 180 days and on an annual basis how we're doing. Are we still stacking up to their expectation? And do they still want to be here? And interestingly enough, I also ask them on the way out the door, why are you leaving us? And harshly, they tell us, you know what? It's the same reasons why they joined. So somewhere along the way, we've fallen down. And that's where our simulated camps have really stepped up to the challenge. So if they're joining for the company stability, opportunity to advance careers, and the ability to make a difference, yet they're telling us they're leaving for the same reasons. Throw in a bad manager or two, throw in, oh, I didn't reach my commission plan as originally thought. We have to fix that. And we have to fix that by our culture and by our learning environment. So we look at more data. And we saw everyone wants a career path. But you know what? Somewhere along the way, we talked about career paths as hierarchical journeys. And that's not what's happening today. We need people to move sideways. We need people to take lateral opportunities and lateral moves. We want them to absolutely be the best recruiter, perhaps in a larger metro market with a more complex area of business, but maybe not. Maybe if they live in Kansas City and want to stay in Kansas City, that they can become the best revenue-generating recruiter in Kansas City. So we've created career paths and opportunities along a number of different places. Whether you choose to go from recruiting to maybe an on-site or a salesperson or a branch manager and then up a management train. But we've given our folks tools to get there. Now from an HR perspective, we talk competencies and skills and we talk salary grades, but that's not what we talk about here. We talk about what the actual individual does and what they need, and then what's their training plan in order to make them successful. So along with career pathing, it's something new we're introducing based on the data. We ask opinions and then we answer based on the data. If we ask, we have to do something with your opinion. So career paths are a little bit new for us. It's something we're exploring and exploring how to do digitally and doing a little bit different. We also look at productivity. So I talked about camp paying for itself and a little bit of ROI. Well, if learning is everyone's responsibility, we need to ensure that what we do in the classroom and in camps or online from a learning perspective is productive. So how do we track pre, during, and post metrics? And we create leaderboards and we create transparency into how people are actually performing. So when you come to camp, you have a set of metrics. We measure what happens to you during the training program, and we measure what happens to you after the training program. And we share this with our managers because we believe the manager is critical to the success. So not only do we support them from a coaching and development perspective and give them the tools and the tricks in order to keep engaged team members, but also we give them the metrics that say, here's what this individual is doing, and here's the number of calls and placements they made last week. Wow, look over here at this side of the region. Something special is going on there, so let's learn from it. So through transparent communications and consistent reporting, we've created a little bit of competition and a little bit of learning. So lastly, I will leave you this fabulous quote. Coaching is releasing a person's potential to maximize their own performance. It's helping them to learn rather than teaching them. We're adults. We think we're pretty smart, but we don't want to be told what to do. We want to learn what works. We want to learn how to modify our own behavior, how to engage in a conversation, and how to create change. And so if we within talent management can do that with our business partners, we all win. Thank you.